What's up guys, John here. This is video 3 of the case for Rick Santorum. This is point 2, Romney shouldn't win. Point 1, liberalism is wrong and Romney is liberal. Point 2, Romney is fundamentally dishonest and unreliable. And point 3, Freemasonry ties to Mormonism, and even despite those ties, Mormonism is just crazy and wrong. Alright, so point 1, liberalism is wrong. I'm speaking of modern liberalism, not classical liberalism. Romney is a modern liberal, which you can see, for example, he created the predecessor to Obama's health care bill. He's been pro-civil union and pro-choice and various liberal things like this. So why is liberalism wrong? Well, let's look at it from 3 different perspectives. On the extreme, you have communism, less socialism, in the middle, democracy, and then unliberal would be republicanism. And then eventually on the far right would be the monarchy, authoritarian state. So communism and socialism are both completely wrong. They just don't work. Well, there's a twofold reason. Number one, under the communistic model, which is a planned economy, you have several problems with that. First of all, no human planner has access to information, good enough information, or no ability to process that information in order to come up with a plan which is superior to natural market forces. All right. There's another problem. It decreases productivity because it has a psychological effect of demotivation, and 2 reasons for that. One, the quota system under the planned economy. Once you've achieved your quota, you have no incentive to go above and beyond. In a capitalist market, you achieve your threshold of living and you keep going and you can get extra money, make savings, stuff like that. But if you go above and beyond your quota in the communist model, you don't get anything for it. The other side of that, the redistribution of wealth. So in the capitalist market, you go above and beyond, you get to keep that for yourself. In the communist market, you go above and beyond, they're going to take yours and give it to someone who didn't do well enough. Someone else is getting your hard-earned work, and they didn't have to work for it. So that's kind of fundamentally wrong. Imagine going through college, making a 4.0, but the school takes, one of your points and gives it to him, so he has a 2.0 and he barely passes, and you end up with a 3.0 when you rightfully earned a 4.0 and he did the work for a 1.0. So you can see why that's kind of morally wrong. The actual political side is also flawed. So it's flawed for 2 main reasons, which both stem from the centralization of power. So under the communist model, power is centralized in a planned economy, right? You have either a person or a board that plans the economy out. And to a less extent in socialism, and y'all can go research the differences there. But the trend is a solid trend as you go from a capitalist market to a communist market. So the politics of centralized power are a magnet for corruption, and it's morally unjustified. Greedy people want all the power they can get, so how could it get better than to have all of the power in one spot, in the government? Capitalist market is decentralized and there's power all around. It's all in different markets. So let's just say it's kind of fundamentally dishonest because it's sort of an authoritarian type of thing. They're just doing whatever they want. You don't have any input into the system. They're putting laws on you without your consent, okay? So we'll go at it from that angle. So it's illegitimate. You're getting taxed without representation kind of thing, all right? And it's also philosophically wrong, and here's why. This is the real crux of the matter. Economic liberalism is equality of state, okay? Equality of state. I have $500, you have $500. We're in an equal state. That's different than equality of opportunity. Equality of opportunity says, I'm on one side of a circle, you're on the other side, there's $500 in the middle, let's race and get it, and whoever gets it earned it. So there's this concept of earning. You're entitled to it because you worked for it. And in the economically liberal state, as I demonstrated with the GPA example, this doesn't exist. Everyone is given an equal state, whether they earned it or not. Just by fact of being a human, supposedly, we're all equal. Not equal in our right to pursue, right to pursue life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. That's the American. All right, we're not equal in our right to pursue. We're equal in just the fact that we're human. Therefore, our state should be equal. So, even if you think liberalism is just great, which I don't, but maybe you do, you still shouldn't vote for Romney. Let me tell you why. Because Romney is fundamentally dishonest. He's a flip-flopper, is the easy way to say it. He's been on both sides of most issues. He used to be pro-choice, now he's pro-life. He used to be pro-gay marriage, I forget. Now he's pro-traditional marriage. Not just for Obama's health care bill, he actually created the model that Obama's health care bill was built on. So he created the predecessor. So he's not just for it, he actually almost invented it. And now he's completely against it and talks trash about it all the time. There's several more. Just go look around the internet. You don't want to vote for a fundamentally dishonest person because you are voting for them to represent you based on what they're telling you. But if they're telling you one thing and known to say one thing and do another, that means even if you vote for him, you are in fact not guaranteed he's going to do what he said. Okay, so that's one point right there. And another point is, if you're going to vote for a liberal who says one thing and does another, why not just vote for Obama? Why would you prefer Romney? He's a Mormon, and I don't know if you know about Mormon's magic underwear. It has Freemasonry symbols on it. Why? Because John Smith, the founder, was a Freemason, and he stuck Freemasonic doctrine into the Book of Mormon. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean Romney's a Freemason, but given how rich he is and how high up in the organization he is, I find it likely. But even if he's not a Freemason, just by virtue of being a Mormon, he's already half crazy, because I can tell you all kinds of crazy things they believe. Liberalism's wrong. Romney is fundamentally dishonest. Even if he was fundamentally honest and liberalism wasn't wrong, his entire worldview and belief system are all screwed up and twisted in a way that can really wreck our country. So I'll let it rest at that. This is the case for Rick Santorum. See you later.